move out of the drop spot. They haven't really had it land on top of them too often in the tournament so far.
Now a little bit of a late rotate here. OMG, Me Too, and Shadow. We've talked about it. Some decent individual efforts from them so far today.
Wow.
Kind of struggling to get it go together, but Me Too says, Owl, what you doing? Poking your head up, and Owl responds in kind. He says, hey, you got a pretty nice assault rifle. I got one too. Here's some shots for you, as he gets his entire shields ripped away, and Shadow opens right back up. And honestly, this is a positive for both of these teams right now. I don't see too much white HP, minus that med miss, so hopefully that should be enough to keep OMG, Me Too, and Shadow up, but otherwise they should be relatively content to trade Surge and have their full duo up.
Not to mention, they still have metal capped out as well. So, you know, you can find brick, you can find wood coming into mid in their early game, late game. But, you know, the one thing you're not going to find, or very unlikely to find, is metal. In the distance, though, you hear the reboot van going off. Jackson trying to play with Fable Taco, so they're going to be looking to get their second and third eliminations redone onto Fable Taco. That could be an extra 6 points if the pickup comes through. If they're smart, they allow it to happen. So we'll see. But Commandment and Stretch right now, their name of the game right now is find some tags, as will be Clix and Day right there. And that's the mark coming out. So, ooh, we might see Commandment find a little bit of an ambush there for the tags onto Clix and Day. That could be a swing factor, right, for the duo fight that might break out down there.
Yeah, and a very traditional split right now coming out from Stretch and Commandment, where they keep it far enough, but Clix and Day just went immediately. They just went for it. As now we two on in here. He was Knifer getting picked up. That was Nosh and Paper able to find him there as he tried to cut his jet set out, but unfortunately he will get picked up. And I mean, as soon as you're in that sight line, that's when we talk about like line of sights being so important, and like how you have to be thinking about your rotations way ahead of time. As soon as he committed to rounding that corner, like, it's 2 level changes, right? And then he's taken out. Now with Swing on board, it feels like we haven't had a chance to talk about him that much today, Monster. Minus game number 1, Champer and Dukes have had a little bit of a stall going on compared to yesterday.
And we knew it was possible. We knew it can happen, and it just looks like they haven't quite turned those gears just yet this tournament here. But this is the back half now. There's still a couple more opportunities. I'm sure they're taking note round after round, and the biggest problem is Storm Surge Zone 1. That is the one that's chomping away at their heels and all the other HP stuff that they're holding on to. But Donnie gets punished big time here. It hasn't looked very good for Macwood or Donnie today and yesterday. And right now, the big fight coming in from Illis and company here. One of the few teams that are actually taking a battle this early, long before the Surge even starts to warn players. This is a team that's looking to get way ahead here. And Tilted Towers, man, you're here. I mean, this is a no man's land. You can't just stand around here. Teams are going to fight. There's a reason players rotate in here. It just has that reputation for battle.
Yeah, and I mean, rotating from covert over to here, just putting yourself in one not necessarily great position to another. Very weird situation as Donnie finds a nice little tag there. Double at it, trying to then replace the wall, finds even better tags onto TK, and this is a very winnable 1v2. If Donnie's going to be able to push forward, has an HP advantage. Here's the Chug Splash go out. Needs to be careful, though, giving them enough time to be able to take this, because the advantage he had is being offset by their use of utility, and it's going to be backed up, so just trying to make sure he's up on Surge. But I feel like NAE, with so many teams going Cavern, it kind of just negated the strength of that POI overall, as you see Miro pick up yet another stray Elam in the feed.
And Smite did as well. Mind you, Smite is, of course, fighting their way on up. Smite and Larson staying consistent this game. That is a team that could be a sleeper, top 2, top 3, maybe even victors of today, depending on how Miro and Bugha play out. Of course, though, we want to continue to see those highlights as they unfold. Bugha and Miro now have 2 eliminations, so a full and successful team wipe here. Let's watch how this went down. Miro swings around here. Max material. This fight went quick and easy, it seems like, as they just found the advantageous angle here. They wasted no time to finish it off.
And fantastic piece control right there from the TNA player. I mean, Miro just being able to own all of those grid spaces, slamming down the cones, putting down the walls, and then dropping right on top of his partner. And I mean, that's an additional nice little +6 points for them, and they don't have to worry about Surge. Frankly, with being 700 plus damage up, or 650 something damage up, they might not have to worry about second Surge either. And with their game plan, it's been, hey, just stay up till late game and things will come. And so far, again, I talked about it, hey, maybe they could do it last game. It's starting to look near impossible with just how good they're playing, Monster. I don't know if anybody can catch them.
Yeah, it's going to be tougher and tougher as the games go on, as they continue to find not only elimination, it's the placement points that are really scary, because they're making multiple end games. It could be once again, like we said, that runaway train type situation where if another game or two goes their way, I mean, that is surely going to be it. They might make it mathematically impossible or insanely ridiculous.
That's when the duo starts looking at it. It's like, all right, guys, we can catch them if we get a 39 elimination victory royale. It's okay. We got this. We got this. You know, as soon as you start putting in numbers in the teens and the 20s plus the VR, you know, you're kind of grasping at straws like we can see Crack trying to do on the right-hand side. Him and Owl just trying to get in the box, and looks like he's able to pick up a couple of straws, but then drops them right back down. It was a hot potato, actually, and unfortunately looks like it's going to end up mashed as the Storm Surge pressure just a little bit too much as PlayFi and Oliver OG trying to find some shots from above.
The same situation for them, though. They found themselves underneath the Storm Surge once again here. It was the same story last game, and again, although they've managed to find a good amount of points, it just hasn't been enough. Great little tags right there, though, from PlayFi as he finds a great angle from above, but still 90 damage below. All of that wasn't enough. And mind you, they have a fresh duo pack right next to them. I mean, both sides are listening to the shots go down. It's only a matter of time before it's all over. Makes you wonder, was it better for them to just take the early box fight immediately, and instead now they waited out? Surge will do the rest here shortly. Although the edits come in, he takes a little damage with him on the road there, set back from Magnolia, but still, points is what matters here. Stretch and Commandment on the other side, a top 5 team, one that's much more relevant to the general stake here coming into top game 10.
Right now we got some space, got some time, some players returning shots, but with third zone being revealed, everyone wants to get just a little bit of central, hoping that fourth drops on top of their head. And we'll get a check in with, I mean, you can just start listing accolades, and I think by the time we rotate off the POV, we wouldn't be done. These guys have won so many tournaments, and they're looking to add another notch onto that belt here today. As they're sitting center zone, we know they're sitting pretty on Storm Surge. First round of placement points ends up coming through, so it's +7 for them on the day. And again, Monster, they're in tournament management mode at this point, and you're going to start hearing me talk about that a lot, because they don't have to be going and chasing elims. They don't have to be gaining points. They aren't the ones talking about, like, oh, we need to do X, Y, Z to win. All they have to do to win is hold on. The longer they're up in the lobby, every single one of those placement points that they get, that Spade and Chimp also gets, is a point taken away from them. The pressure is on the duo we are watching right now to chase the game.
Chimp and Spade have to get a lot of eliminations if they want to catch up. They're about, what's that, 10 or so off right now. Yep. You can see how many they've already picked up. They've been extremely active as they're currently our elimination leaders, you know, as a whole, you know, as a duo. But, you know, if they want to catch up to Boogie and Miro, they're still 10 off the mark at least to closing the gap. Because one thing they cannot make up are the difference in placement points already made. That's the harder one to go ahead and outperform so far, as we've seen Boogie and Miro just stay super consistent.
You can see that Chimp has 28 eliminations by himself, which is more than all but 5 teams. Making up the difference there. As we'll swing on over, Clix and Day almost had a back-to-back wins to close out yesterday, have 2 victory royales in their back pocket, but we've talked about it. While their highs have been very incredible, their lows have really brought down their average scores, so they need to find a couple more of those really solid games, and clock's ticking against them. Like we said, the pressure is on everyone else to play a little bit of catch-up as we look at kind of this top 5, top 6.
Look at the feed.
Shadow, yeah, Shadow able to pick up a knock there on Wanted.
Great knock on Tawana if they can get the finish there. I mean, those are points that they absolutely need to continue to claw their way back from that slipping out of 4th place position that we saw. The last 2 games have been generally pretty rough for them. Kind of boiling down to just being solos here. Smite and Larson, though, I would say the most impressive team today as far as teams that are making comeback stories come to life. Larson and Smite, after last game's high placing, then kicking this one off with elimination. There it is. Shadow does get the full finish onto Wanted, so it's a little bit of a comeback for them, but pressure's onto Smite and crew. Fire sets the floor ablaze. That's a beautiful play right there. Out come all the armor walls to try to buy themselves some time, and for whatever reason, the lobby decides, hey, these are the guys you need to completely fire in on. Luckily, though, Chug Splashes will mitigate stop oncoming fire from at least one side, and this is a situation where having the right loot is just the difference maker.
Yeah, I always find the interesting decision where teams slam down those iron walls on their roof first rather than the wall immediately in front of them, but it ended up providing them with just the ability to only turn into one direction, not worry about what might potentially pop above. So played very well for them there.